What's up, YouTube? How we doing today? Kawaii50 here again with another Annihilation guide for Arknights. This one for Annihilation Lungmen Outskirts. Now, Lungmen Outskirts is a little more difficult than Chernobog. You need a little bit more maneuvering, and you need, more than anything, some leveled up specialists to help you clear this map in one easy go. So we're going to go ahead, go through step by step, and let you know what exactly you need to do to clear this map. Let's, of course, start up with our team setup first. First and foremost, we've got our Vanguard Scavenger to generate deployment points. We've got one tank on the team in the form of Croissant. We're going to need her to block, we're going to need her to use her defense skill, and we're going to need her to survive. We've got 3 healers making up our team because the damage our units are going to take is going to get pretty insane. I'm using Talopsis, Warfarine, and Shining. 1 AoE, 2 single target, but you can of course use whatever you have. For our range single target damage dealers, I've got Meteor and I've got Exusii dealing the physical damage we need to, again, weather through all of these waves. I've got Skyfire as our single target AoE caster. Need a single target AoE caster because those waves, you're going to see how these waves are. They get very, very bad. And then we've got our 2 specialists, the backbone of our team, Feeder and Cliffheart. You can, of course, substitute Feeder for Shaw, Cliffheart for Rope. More importantly than anything, you need their skills leveled up to at least 4 to go ahead and make it through this stage. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to knock dudes in their pit. They're not going to be able to do their job. And finally, we've got 1 guard and 1 flex ranged caster DPS. Our 1 guard, I'm using Lapland because Lapland is the ultimate waifu. And I've got Pramanix for our single target flex caster DPS for her unique debuff. Let's go ahead and start Annihilation Lungmen Outskirts. So first and foremost, we've deployed Scavenger to generate DP, followed by Skyfire, so she can immediately start dealing AoE damage, and we don't have to worry so much about these enemies that are Zerg rushing us in the beginning. Enemies coming from the bottom row are not going to be a problem, because boom, there's Meteor, start dealing some of that extra damage, Skyfire immediately melting any enemies that come from that top row. Scavenger doing her job generating DP, which is great because we are going to need it for these next units that we are about to deploy. Boom, we've gone and placed Feeder up above our entry point facing down, because if any enemies get through, then she can easily knock them into the pit before they end up scoring a point. And let me tell you, enemies are going to get through. There's a couple of unblockable enemies, so we need Feeder there to deal with that. After generating enough DP, we have deployed Talopsis facing down, so she can go ahead, heal up Scavenger, heal up our AoE caster, and just make sure that our team is able to survive as things get dicier and dicier for our operators. Which you can see right there, a lot of enemies. But all those enemies are going to be absolutely no problem for Skyfire, who is just going to absolutely melt anybody that comes down that top lane. Next, we've gone ahead and deployed our guard above Scavenger as soon as possible. Lapland sitting up there, dealing extra work. More importantly, being able to block any enemies that Skyfire is unable to defeat, because there's just so many. And then right in front of Meteor, we've got Exusii out there just to deal a little bit of extra damage, shoot any of those dudes that decide to just stop in those squares like we saw earlier, and just thin out the enemy numbers as much as possible before they get to our operators. Next, I've deployed Warfarine around 82 right below Exusii, mainly just to keep her alive because we need her to deal that extra damage. And there's other operators we're going to deploy down there that we're going to need to keep alive as well. Next, we've deployed Cliffheart facing the right over in that extra lane down there. A couple of enemies are going to come through, and Cliffheart is just going to pull them into the pit of doom, and then we're not going to have to worry about them at all. Alright guys, I skipped ahead just a little bit because I didn't want to bore you, but next up we've got Croissant sitting in front of Scavenger at around 115 enemies defeated. Croissant is there to sort of defend and make sure that no enemies get through, because we're going to have a lot of enemies she's going to have to block. Now, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead quite a bit because this whole deployment is going to serve well for a while. And then I'm going to show you the next stage of what we need to do to clear this map. Alright, so drones, race, everything under the sun has been cleared. And it's here around 260 that we are getting ready to shift our strategy. After that last Wraith has been defeated, we have removed Feeder and deployed Shining facing to the left so she can help our team survive the onslaught that is about to hit them. It is going to be really, really rough. I would absolutely recommend popping any and all skills you may have to try and get through this with nobody dying, because if somebody dies, odds are you're going to get somebody through and not get that 400 clear that you are desperately trying to vie for. Cliffheart down in the corner doing her work, pulling enemies into the pit. But we are going to go ahead and very, very shortly, once all of the enemies have been defeated, this is key. This is what is absolutely key here in order to finish this map. Once all the enemies are done, you're going to deploy Feeder down next to Warfarine at around 299, and soon we are actually going to end up taking away Cliffheart, because we are going to need to redeploy her as soon as possible. In order to get out Feeder, we have taken away our Scavenger. We don't need her anymore. What we need now is Feeder ready to punch dudes into that pit ASAP. Now our Exusii is a little strong here, so she's going to end up ripping through a lot of these enemies. But if she wasn't, if she was just a few levels lower, we would actually have Feeder punching enemies into the pit to sort of take that lower pressure off of our front line. Because these Avengers over there, that Avenger you see on the left, yeah, they deal more damage the less HP they have. So that's the main reason why this map ends up getting really rough around this point. They deal some crazy damage, people. Drones coming in, absolutely no problem for Exusii, away they go. And those enemies down the bomb, doesn't matter if they're throwing Molotovs at our Feeder, because Warfarine is able to easily keep her healed, and we're going to really, really need her to do some stuff in just a little bit here. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to punch those fat dudes in the pit, but that's okay. She's going to deal a little extra damage and allow the rest of our team to sort of go ahead and mop them up. Now we've got these Avengers coming from down below. Big issue, but not for Cliffheart. Down they go, and we are going to immediately pull away Cliffheart once that Avenger is taken care of, because we are going to need to redeploy her down in the bottom row for some casters that are about to make our day very, very bad. Rest of these enemies proving no problem for Croissant, who is able to just easily weather the storm thanks to her leveled up defensive skill. That caster down there is going to absolutely destroy our Feeder if we end up letting him keep his way. So we're going to go ahead and deploy Cliffheart. Cliffheart's going to pull them close, knock them away. Feeder's going to knock people in the pit. The second this caster is out of the way. Boom. I'm going to take over from autoplay here, because the second that caster's out of the way, we've got to get our Cliffheart out of there. And the second we are able to deploy our Cliffheart again, we're going to put her right back where she was, because some enemies are about to come through and give our allies a horrible, horrible time. And you're going to cut it a little close. You're going to cut it a little close with this deployment, but I promise it is absolutely necessary. Because if you don't deploy her right away, your skills aren't going to charge up enough, and this enemy is just going to get through. But now we've deployed her correctly. There goes the Avenger, down into the pit. Now the rest of the team can go ahead and start cleaning up. Feeder, knocking those enemies into the pit. Shining, continuing to heal. Cliffheart, pulling dudes into the pit. Now it's here around 390 that enemies start to get a little strong, a little dicey, but it's okay because we have all of our skills in the tank. We've got some butchers coming up through here. We've gone ahead and lost our defender, but that's okay because we're going to deploy scavenger. Dealing all that extra damage. Our healers are going to be just fine weathering through this storm. Now, you might lose your defender there, you might not. I just lost her because I didn't end up having my defensive skill leveled up. But it's okay, Yang. It's okay. Because right there, boom, super easy. There is your 400 enemy Annihilation Lungmen clear. Now, I was having a little bit of issues before because of deployment costs, but there, just go ahead, take it over, and you're going to be all fine. Now, if you have your own strategies for Annihilation Lungmen clear, if you think any other units might be better, if you just want to thank me for the video, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe if this video has helped you out for more Arknights content in the future. It's the only way I'm going to put it out is if you like and subscribe and let me know you want it. Hope you're all having a phenomenal day out there, and I hope to see you in the next Kawaii 5.0 video.